In the third episode of Marshals, the narrative intensifies as Kayce Dutton, portrayed by Luke Grimes, becomes embroiled in an escalating conflict with the Clegg family. The episode kicks off with a violent altercation involving two sons of Randall Clegg, played by Michael Cudlitz, who unleash gunfire on unsuspecting villagers. This incident heightens the already existing tensions related to the Broken Rock mining disputes and leads to a confrontation with Kayce. In a pivotal moment, Kayce tracks down the Clegg brothers, resulting in the death of one of them. By the episode's conclusion, Kayce is left grappling with the aftermath of his actions, and the Clegg family emerges as a more formidable adversary, setting the stage for future conflicts. The episode closes on a haunting note, with a gunshot found on Kayce's porch, signaling the looming danger that continues to shadow him. In Episode 4 of the Yellowstone spin-off, titled The Gathering Storm, the character Randall Clegg's true nature is further revealed following the death of his son. Seeking retribution against Kayce, Randall takes a significant step by filing a complaint with the Department of Justice. He accuses Kayce of shooting an unarmed individual, thereby violating his son's civil rights. This accusation provides Chief Marshal Harry Gifford, played by Brett Cullen, with sufficient grounds to suspend Kayce from his duties and initiate a formal investigation. Randall's claims hinge on the assertion that his son had dropped his weapon before Kayce discharged his firearm, marking a pivotal moment in the narrative that underscores themes of justice and personal vendetta. Gifford has assigned Cruz, Ash Santos, to lead the investigation into Kayce's background, influenced by Kayce's close relationship with Cal, Logan Marshall Green. Gifford emphasizes that a successful outcome from Cruz could hasten her reassignment to Washington, D.C., while also warning her that the investigation team may encounter numerous complications related to Dutton skeletons, indicative of hidden issues from the Dutton family's past. During their inquiry, Cruz, along with Miles, Tate and Skinner, Ariel Kebble, uncovers a significant event from Kayce's past that exemplifies his approach to frontier justice. This incident concerns Kayce's revenge against the militia that kidnapped his son, Tate Breckenmerrill. It serves as a stark reminder of the show's darker narrative threads, particularly resonant with past plots from Yellowstone. In the unfolding narrative, Tom Weaver, portrayed by Chris Mulkey, experiences a helicopter crash in the remote Montana wilderness. This incident prompts Kayce and Cal to participate in a rescue operation conducted by the Forest Service. However, the primary focus of the story revolves around an investigation that ultimately uncovers crucial evidence from trail cameras. This evidence reveals that the younger Clegg was armed at the time Kayce shot him, providing a temporary exoneration for Kayce while simultaneously casting Randall in a more villainous light as the season progresses. In Yellowstone Season 2, a particularly intense storyline unfolds when Kayce's son, Tate, is abducted in Episode 9, titled Enemies by Monday. This event escalates the Duttons' ongoing conflict with adversaries Malcolm, Neil McDonough, and Teal Beck, Terry Serpico, resulting in heightened stakes for the Dutton family. The abduction serves as a pivotal moment in the series, prompting Kayce and Monica to react with desperation and urgency as they strive to rescue their son from imminent danger. The suspense of this episode directly connects to earlier events in Marshals Episode 4, emphasizing the dramatic themes of familial struggle and confrontations against formidable foes within the narrative. In Episode 10, titled Sins of the Father, the plot intensifies as Kayce Dutton takes decisive action to rescue his son, Tate, who is being held captive by a militia group in the Crazy Mountains. The episode is marked by several gripping moments, including a striking scene where Kayce confronts and shoots Teal while he is seated on a toilet. As John Dutton, portrayed by Kevin Costner, approaches Malcolm, he also engages in violence, shooting him in the stomach and leaving him to die. This sequence of events contributes to the episode's reputation as one of the darkest and most emotionally charged of the series, highlighting themes of desperation and familial loyalty. Cal's interactions with Maddie, the bartender at the Bullet Inn Barrel Saloon, have been characterized by tension and discomfort in the initial episodes of the series. Initially, Maddie's behavior towards Cal seemed to stem from a sense of caution, as she perceived him to be a difficult customer. However, as the series progressed, her remarks became increasingly pointed, indicating a deeper underlying issue between them. Cal's mostly silent demeanor and his choice to simply sip on a beer during these exchanges hint at an underlying complexity in their relationship, suggesting that their awkward exchanges may not solely be a result of Maddie's initial reservations about Cal. The explanation unfolds in episode 4 when Cal reveals, "The bartender's my kid," during a conversation with Skinner at the bar about the strong father-daughter dynamic between Tom and Dolly Weaver. This revelation sheds light on Maddie's previous resentment, which is now reinterpreted as a more nuanced emotional conflict rooted in her father's long absence from her life, spanning over 2 decades. Cal reflects on his attempts to reconnect with Maddie, understanding that she seems to prefer distance rather than his presence in her bar. Skinner, surprised by the revelation, advises Cal to be patient, suggesting that time may alter Maddie's feelings and approach towards their relationship. In the series Yellowstone, Kayce Dutton's character, played by Luke Grimes, is depicted as deeply devoted to his wife, Monica, portrayed by Kayce Dutton, throughout his journey. Following Monica's off-screen death, there seems to be little interest from the show's Marshals to see Kayce embark on a new romantic relationship. This reluctance is further complicated by the commitments of his teammates. One, named Skinner, is married, while another, Cruz, is already involved with a local. However, the dynamics shift in episode 4, thanks to Tom Weaver and his daughter Dolly, played by Ellen Jameson. Dolly makes a significant entrance in the middle of the episode, aiding in the search for her father and expressing gratitude towards Kayce for his help in rescuing Tom. This event marks a notable change in Kayce's storyline, introducing the possibility of new connections in his life. Later at the saloon, a surprising event unfolds as Kayce finally joins the team for a night out, encouraged by their persistent invitations. His arrival is noteworthy not only because he decides to come, but also because he does not come alone. Dolly, intrigued by Kayce, asks if he could teach her more about Montana, to which he replies with a playful and mysterious maybe. The episode concludes with a scene of light-hearted, flirtatious banter between the two, suggesting an evolving dynamic in their relationship. The notion that Kayce might be reopening his heart appears in a very subtle and surprising way. Through a little personal encounter, rather than a huge romance arc, Kayce is under a lot of pressure for most of the episode. He is juggling the emotional burden of his history, an internal probe, and mistrust from his own team. He has remained aloof after Monica's passing, concentrating solely on his responsibilities and survival. What transpires subsequently feels so different because of this. Kayce is beginning to move away from solitude, even if only slightly, as he eventually joins his colleagues at the saloon. Dolly, however, is the true turning point. After Kayce saves her father, she enters the story in a moment of trust and thanks, making her more than simply another character. In contrast to the intensity around everything else, their interaction is lighthearted and serene. Dolly's interest in Kayce and his subdued, lighthearted response reveal a side of him that we haven't seen in a long time. It's not even close to love yet. However, it's the first sign that Kayce may be able to reconnect. This is significant since neither Monica nor his past is erased. Rather, it implies development. Kayce is gradually learning to cope with his loss rather than trying to replace it. Did Kayce find love again then? Not precisely. However, episode 4 undoubtedly shows the possibility that he may be prepared to let someone in for the first time since Monica. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives like this. See you in the next review.